Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back to another episode of Moonacre Creations. This one is going to be the Valentine's Day special, but I will not waste any time and just show you the design right away. So here it is. But what we're going to be doing is making a heart corset, an apron with a cute little pocket, a big puffy skirt. I have some really cute fabric. Something great about this project is that I'm using materials I already had and didn't buy anything. And it's honestly fabric that I've had for years and it has just been sitting here, so I'm really happy to actually finally use it for something. I can reuse it for other projects as well because I'm going to make all the pieces of this dress detachable from each other so they can be styled in different ways, which is something I always love to do with my designs. Lots of lace and very cutesy Lovecore stuff. When I was a kid, I didn't really like pink very much, which was never really about the color, if you know what I mean. But as an adult, I just can't get away. My house isn't very pink, but whenever I see a pink thing, I'm like, oh. But then I take it home and it doesn't match fucking anything. Underrated, one of my favorite color combos is pink and red, so this is gonna be a win. The bodice is going to be 100% cotton, and I am kind of really into quilting right now, a little bit hyper fixated on quilting. So I'm gonna baste the heart on and put on some lace on the front, kind of like, I'm going for like coquette, but more in like the red, which is what I would call Lovecore. So we'll start with a little fabric tour. First thing is I have this shirt. It's like that dusty salmon pink. And I got this at Heart's Delight from the Michigan Renaissance Fair. I really, really love Heart's Delight because it's 100% cotton, family owned, family operated, and they are really good quality and just really beautiful. This isn't sponsored though, I wish it was. I'll show you guys these little, it has these little ties on the neckline, and the sleeves are really like puffy and the elastic is good quality. I own probably 10 pieces that they've made, and I get the dresses and the shirts, and I just love 100% cotton clothing. I'll be using this as the chemise for this outfit. So the skirt color is gonna be this pink. It might look kind of different on camera, but it is like a dark, dusty salmon pink in real life, and it has teeny tiny little polka dots on it. So the other fabric I got is 2 yards of this Waverly Inspirations 100% cotton, and that is from Walmart, and it was like $6, and I don't expect to need more than 2 yards for just a bodice and an apron. I got all this kind of like off-white tan lace, or maybe someone tea-dyed it or something, I don't know, but I got this from a dead grandma. I'm gonna be making the bodice out of the red, so this stuff can go away. But you can see how well the shirt and the skirt material match. They're a little bit off, but like nobody will notice except me, probably. So the pattern I'm using is one I've used many times before. The bodice itself is going to be pretty simple. It's just a basque waist. Here's like my pattern for like the plunging basque waist, but I think I'm not going to go that low on this one. I think I'll probably use this like rounded waist shape because I'm also going to be putting some lace at the bottom, so I think that one would be most agreeable. And then it's going to be constructed kind of like a tank top with some boning in it. So let's get these pieces cut out. I'm going to start arranging them into their separate layers. I have an inner and outer layer, although they are made of the same fabric. And I'm going to start attaching them directly on the line of the edge of the pattern because I don't make my patterns with seam allowance. And then I'm going to be ironing everything and basting on the heart on the front. So this is what it's kind of looking like right now. You can see the heart is sewn on with that zigzag stitch, and I'm going to start adding the boning channels everywhere there's a seam, and then also some diagonal channels to kind of give it a little bit more shape. And then I'm going to be hand sewing on the lace, and I decided to use this lace instead. It's a little whiter than the other one I have, so I think I might color it with some fabric paint. But this one was not holding its shape as well, and this one has a little bit more of a sturdier ruffle, and I think it looks a little better, so let's get going. So I'm going to mark my boning channels everywhere there's a seam between each pattern piece, and then also directly next to it I kind of use that little line on my presser foot on my sewing machine that's right next to the edge to kind of guide where that will go. It's approximately like 1 centimeter for the boning that I'm using. And then for the center panel with the heart, I'm going to mark the center and ensure that it goes through the little dip in the heart and the bottom of the heart. The point to make sure it's perfectly centered, that's going to be really important for the overall presentation. So I'm going to start adding the boning. I have this boning from Amazon. It's plastic, and I just cut it with some wire cutters. I'll link it below if you'd like to buy some as well. I know some of you guys might prefer to use metal boning, but this is just what I have right now, and I'm actually almost out of it. So I'm just going to kind of pull it to length and fit it into each boning channel and cut it off. And then I'll be closing up the bottom with some bias tape, and then it'll be time to decorate. At the center boning channel and the ones on the very ends where it ties in the back, I'm going to put 2 layers of boning so it's extra strong and straight on that part. So it's day 2. I kind of have to work on this between like work and other responsibilities, so I'm back in a new outfit. But here's what it looks like. I've just sewn on the bias tape, and next I'm going to be covering everything in lace that needs covering. So I'm going to do around the heart and around the bottom, maybe around the neckline, and then I'm going to put on all of the hardware and grommets and close it up, and then that will be it for this, and we'll be moving on to the skirt. Now we're moving on to making the apron. So I've just made these strips. They're going to be kind of like the tie around the apron. I don't know how long it is. I'll measure in a minute, but I'll put it like right here how long it is. It's about 2 inches wide and it's folded over about 5 inches in total with everything folded in, and that's going to make a nice little waistband with enough room to tie in a bow in the back. So for the apron itself, I'm going to be cutting a big rectangle that's 32 inches wide and 24 inches long. You can adjust that to whatever size you think would suit your measurements correctly, because I want it to come to about like right under the knee on me, but that might be different for you. So I made it 24 inches long, and then I'm gonna be folding it in half and cutting a curved edge so that the apron will kind of be like a circular apron. And with the 32-inch length at the top, I also left a little bit of space so that it can be gathered on the sides as well. So what I did for the waistband is I just folded it over and then sewed close to the seam on one side and serged to the other side, and then I'm going to be feeding some elastic through it and gathering it and attaching the big piece I cut out for the skirt to it to kind of create a really full skirt there at the bottom. And then I'm going to be adding a really fluffy flounce to the bottom of the skirt to make it flare really beautifully in the end. So next I'm gonna just get the elastic and feed it through here. Actually, scratch that. First I'm gonna serge the edge of that big piece of fabric I cut and then sew it on here and then put the elastic through. And this big piece of fabric is kind of messed up because I've had it for years and I used it to make one of my projects I made as a child and I didn't know like anything. So instead of like a proper waistband, I just cut holes in it and like put a string through to kind of hold it up as a skirt. So there's like little holes in it like every 3 or 4 inches that I'm gonna try to kind of close up, but also I kind of like it as like a little bit of distressing, so I'll decide what to do. But it is kind of a messed up piece of fabric, but I love the color so much I had to use it for something, so we will see what becomes of that. So I think I actually really like the shape of the skirt, how it is now without the flounce on the bottom. So I think I'm gonna skip that. I'm not gonna add that because I think it'll weigh it down too much, which has been a problem with a lot of my projects, is that they end up being too damn heavy. So skirt done, except for there's holes in it from when I messed it up when I was a little kid. I made that skirt probably when I was like 8, and yeah, she's got some damage. So I'm gonna try to find a really cute fabric to put little visible mending patchwork on it. But that's gonna be the extent of finishing the pink polka dot skirt. And what I'm gonna do instead to kind of lengthen it a little bit is make a chiffon petticoat, because I've been wanting one anyway, a full-length chiffon petticoat in some off-white chiffon that I have. And that will kind of fill it out a little bit, but the skirt itself will stay like light and flowy, because if you see it spin, I'll show you, it's actually pretty appealing looking. And honestly, you're gonna see this in the critique, but I think the apron is kind of not working at all and it totally messes up the silhouette. But I'm just gonna spin right now and you can see kind of the movement that we're getting at this point. Okay team, so I want to take a break from doing the skirt. I'm going to do the chiffon skirt probably last, but I do want to make a cute little hat. I decided to make this little gnome bonnet to be the hat for this project. So this is the prototype I just made a pattern for, and it is reversible, which is pretty cool. So I'm probably going to make a lot more of these in the future, but sorry, my heat just turned on, but I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to make a little tie to tie under the chin, and maybe some little lace on the final one, but even this one is pretty cute, and I think I might even start selling this sort of thing on my Etsy, so let me know if you'd be interested in that type of thing. But yeah, it's just a simple little hood. So I just ironed all my little pieces and I basted on some hearts for this side. The other side is just going to be plain polka dot, which I think I'm cool with because I can use it for other styling, like other outfits as well. But for this project, the side that'll be facing out will have a little heart on it in that same fabric. So I'm going to do a zigzag stitch all around this to baste it on. Maybe put a line or two straight stitch to keep it extra secure, and then I'm gonna sew the red half together along this hood line, and then sew this half together, and then I'll be combining them as liner and fashion fabric. Okay team, this is kind of what it's looking like. So I've got it tied up right now, but it functions as a hood. So when the flaps are down, it kind of makes it a little bit harder to hear, as much as you would expect with like a normal ear flap hat. So when you tie it around, this is much cuter tied, but it does kind of make it feel a little bit echoey though, but it is very cute. So that you can see, this is the pink polka dot side. Tie a little bow. So you tie a little bow. It's kind of like one of those 50s hats where it's like a hat and the scarf ties around too, but I do really like the look of it. I think I probably will pair this with like some fairy outfits or something like that, because it is a really sweet little gnome hat. Oh my god, it looks so funny, but I'll show you the other side. So you can just reverse it by kind of pulling in that inner corner out and then poking the tip out, and that's what it looks like not on. So you could wear it with the ties down, with it flipped up and tied in the back like you saw the other way, and then it's kind of like a Robin Hood hat. But I think for the reveal of this outfit, I'm gonna tie it in a cute little bow because it kind of fits the Valentine's Day theme a little bit better, I think. And one more thing, and this will tickle you guys. This fabric, this chiffon, is the same fabric I'm using for the petticoat, so it all ties in, and I just love that. I think it's a little bit cuter with the pink on the outside folded over. But yeah, I do like the function of this hat, and I'm happy with how the pattern came out. So now we're going to move on to actually making the petticoat, and then it'll be on to the reveal. So for the petticoat, I'm just going to make it the same way I kind of made that skirt, where I'm going to make a big rectangle. And I actually recently learned that woven fabrics can be ripped, so I don't even have to cut it. You just kind of measure it and then you can rip it all the way down and it'll rip in a straight line. I didn't even know that. But I'm going to do probably a little bit longer, so like 35 inches for the main skirt, and then I'm going to be adding a flounce underneath because I want it to poke through a little bit underneath the top skirt, so you can have a little ruffle effect. Almost it looks like there's lace on the pink skirt, but it'll look like that no matter what skirt I pair with it. I think I'll do 33 inches for the main skirt, and then the rest will all be the flounce. So let's get started with ripping that up. So I've made these big long rectangles. So this is going to be for the upper part of the skirt. They're 33 inches long. So this goes down to like my mid-calf, and I just made a really long piece of it. I'm not sure exactly how long. I think it's probably at least like 6 yards of fabric around, and then the flounce for the bottom is 6 inches wide. But the length of that is I made it 4 times as long as the rest. So I'm gonna kind of just pleat this. I serged the bottom edge, and I'm gonna pleat them all. I'm gonna hand pleat them by just folding them over every so often as I sew, and it's not gonna be exact, but it'll be like a pleat approximately every 2 inches and like 1 inch wide. And then I'm gonna attach that to the whole bottom of the skirt, and then add the waistband the same way I did for the pink skirt. So it's not that complicated of a project, but I think it'll make it look a lot better because it'll have a little bit more volume and something interesting to look at when it spins, which is like my favorite part. So I want to do the critique right now while I'm still wearing it, just to get it out of the way. So we're going to have our normal critique criteria, which is going to be visual appeal, function, cost, craftsmanship, and composition. So for visual appeal, that would grade how well the outfit looks on like a first glance. I'm gonna go like an 8 out of 10. I think it's a very attractive outfit. It definitely stands out, and it kind of looks how I wanted it to look, and it screams Lovecore in my opinion. It's not too close to coquette. To grade function for a piece of clothing, I kind of think about how wearable it is, if it's like overstimulating me. So a really great thing about this costume is that it is almost 100% cotton. Maybe some of the lace has some poly in it, but overall it's very breathable. I think I could get away with wearing it on a hot day in the summer, and even the hood is 100% cotton. So for the functionality of not like sweating your balls off while wearing it, so I'll say like 7 out of 10, because it is a little bit, I mean, it's a corset, so it's a little bit restrictive. For cost, this was pretty cost effective. Trying to think of anything I actually spent money on. The red fabric, I probably spent around $12, I think. And then a lot of the lace I already had from like garage sales, and then the pink fabric that the skirt is made of, and the fabric that the petticoat is made of I already had, so I'll like call those free basically, because I didn't spend anything fresh, any fresh money on them. For cost effectiveness, I'll say like 8 out of 10, or I think that's too high. I'll say like, let's do 7. Okay, like 7 out of 10, because I did spend money. A lot of my projects I do try to have be $0, so we'll say 7 so that there's like actually a frame of reference. There is some parts on it that I would probably improve if I was going to make this for someone else. The lace I hand sewed on was sewn on with white thread, and it does show through on the inside. You can see the hand stitches. I would probably make it so you cannot see the thread. The boning feels really good. It's one of the best boning jobs I've done, I think. The straps are a little bit long, even with the Velcro that I did put in there, and that's just another way to wear it. So I'm gonna dock points though for that, because the straps are too long. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Hood, I really like how the hood went. I'm gonna start selling these on Etsy. Probably not this design, but I have a few really fun ones planned that I'm gonna sell on Etsy. I'm gonna turn it into a product that I produce. So yeah, I really like the pattern for the bonnet hood, and I like the way it fits a lot. And it feels sturdy, and it's also 100% cotton, so it's breathable, because having a hood like this can get super hot, especially in the summer when people will be wearing them like to Ren fairs and stuff. The craftsmanship of the petticoat I really like as well. I hand pleated this, and it looks really even though I eyeballed it. Fullness of the skirt I'm happy with. Overall craftsmanship, I'll say like 7 out of 10, which is apparently like my favorite rating, but meow. Okay, and then what's the last thing? Composition. Okay, so that will judge how well each piece matches the other pieces. And you know what? I'm gonna say like an 8.5 out of 10, because I really like how like the pink polka dot fabric we got here, skirt. Awesome. I really love when things match, because it makes a costume look more expensive. Because a lot of people, when they put costumes together, will get pieces from all over, which is fine. That can look really good. But something about having everything coordinated is just like something that I really enjoy. So yeah. And then having like pink fabric out here on the heart, and then also it's on the inside, that's coordinated. I'm gonna have to go give her some real attention here in a minute. I've never heard a more vocal cat in my life than that gal. Probably should have brought more of this red down into the skirt, but I was intending to have the apron, which I actually forgot about. Yeah, I made the whole apron, and I think that it actually was a flop. If I included it in the critique, then it would definitely bring points down on every level, because it just doesn't look good. It doesn't really look good by itself, and it doesn't really look good with the costume. This horizontal line totally messes up the flow of the dress. It looks like infinitely better without the apron. Maybe I'll use it for some kind of other costume someday, but I don't have a lot of experience with aprons. The pattern I don't like very much. It's giving what should be a very flattering silhouette into a very boxy silhouette. Honestly, this apron, I'm gonna call her like a 2 out of 10. It has points because it is an apron, but in every other way, every other design note I could make about it, it sucks. And yeah, I hate her, so I'm not including it in the costume anymore. And I wanted to make some aprons because I'm going to be making some like Hobbit outfits here coming up, especially in the summer, because I have Brandywine. I'm going to the Brandywine Festival in the fall. So there's going to be a lot of Hobbit content going on around here, so aprons are kind of like a staple, and I need to get better at them. But that was like round 1, and it did not happen. It didn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. If you have watched this long, thank you very much for watching. I've been receiving a lot of really amazing support from everybody, and I couldn't be more grateful for your likes and subscribes. Please consider commenting if you had any notes or anything you'd like to mention to me about the way I made anything. I'm open to some constructive criticism if you are a more experienced sewist than I am, or experienced in an area that maybe I am not. So feel free to leave a comment of whatever you would like. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.